Good day, KBC. And I think summer has finally arrived. I don't want to speak too early on that, but it's a beautiful day out there. I hope you're enjoying it. And, I hope you don't really complain about how warm it is because you know what? It's been cold. And, let's just rejoice in this day that the Lord has made. And let us be glad, that, He's made it this way. Hey, I want to bring a couple things to your attention. And, there's lots of things going on right now, lots of conversations that are happening around the table when it comes to church at 383 Hampton Road. A couple things that I want to allow for you to bring some input to the conversation is we're offering a survey that you can fill out, and that will help us to understand as we roll into the summer what things at 383 Hampton Road will look like. We're looking at some things down the road for the end of June and what that might look like. So again, stay tuned, but again, fill out the survey. It'll be important for us to know where you stand and how you feel about things. Speaking of where you stand and how you feel about things, really looking forward to Bike for Bolivia. That's happening this Saturday, and there's been some fundraising going on for that. And so you can continue to help in that process as we lead forward to Saturday. Again, the Bolivia team is biking from 383 Hampton Road to Cars, New Brunswick, and gathering there. Again, this will all go to help out down in Bolivia where the mission team had gone. And you would have seen the video from last week on Sunday about what that might look like and where the money will be going for that. Again, Sunday is coming, and this Sunday we're going to continue the kind of the Black Lives conversation, Black Lives Matter conversation, and look into how we as personally respond to that. And we're beginning our journey with the Pause series. And this pause series will go throughout the entire summer, teaching us that God is in the pause. And for this conversation, really what I want to look at is the idea that we need to pause and allow God to tell us what to think and speak when it comes to situations where we come in contact with people that don't look like us or think like us or act like us. What does our response look like? And so how do we pause in those moments and begin to see what God wants to say to us? Speaking of all this, and we do have a business meeting coming up on Monday, and you would have heard this past Sunday that Kendra Ball would have announced the business meeting. We got some things to talk about because we didn't have our annual business meeting, which would have happened just during the COVID season startup, and so we had to cancel that meeting. So we're going to bring some of that annual business meeting agenda to you guys and have the annual report voted through, and also look at the finances of the church and begin to discuss those things. So tomorrow, where there's going to be a video that's going to be put out with all of the reports done through video. And then on Monday, what we're going to do is join the conversation on Zoom. We're going to pray, and then we're going to have the discussions, and we're going to open up some conversation towards maybe some motions that can be voted on. So that will be all talked about tomorrow in those video conversations. And as we continue in this journey, I'm really looking forward to getting to gather with some people. And one thing that I'm really suggesting and going to begin to work on is begin to think about a small group of people that you might be able to gather with, and have the conversation on Sunday morning about the Sunday morning service. Watch it together. So we're going to be creating some atmospheres during this pause season that will allow you to pause the video and either pray together, do something that is an action pause, and then at the end of it, we're going to have some small group questions that you can begin to discuss as a family or as friends about what was talked about during the sermon. So we're going to be looking at ways we can continue to gather in small groups. And speaking of which, it is the pause season. In this last minute of this conversation, I really want to bring the idea, what does pause really look like? And we know that when we press pause on a video, or press pause on the old VHS players or tape players back in the day, that everything stopped. There was silence, and that was a moment to process. And when we do Bible reading plans, often with a Bible reading plan, we think through, I got to read, the next 4 chapters by the time my quiet time is done. And when we read those 4 chapters, we often skip through a couple things that God is really trying to get our attention on. And so through the summer, what I'm inviting people to do beginning on Monday is to begin to read the Psalms with no intention of reading a certain amount of Psalms, but an intention of seeing what God wants to say to you through those Psalms. And so we're going to ask people to press pause on a particular Psalm that they're drawn to. And that psalm, we're going to ask that you begin to reflect on that psalm for the entire day and pause on that psalm. And maybe the next day or the next time you go to reading, you can begin to pick up the psalms from that place. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on Sunday and continuing through the next 12 or 13 weeks. Hey, really looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday on the Zoom conversation, seeing what Sunday looks like for you. And you know what? Lots of things are going on. I'm excited to continue this journey with you. So blessings on your day today. May you enjoy it the way God has created it. Bye for now.